Well, I'm back. Let's continue with our Ishizukuri, and somehow it's evolving. Remember I said a number of times that I was a landscaper? That was my education anyway. And I've been doing Japanese garden design and installing for quite a number of years. And so this sort of represents the concept tsukubai, with the water basin and the lantern. Here's another version. It's really hard to drill holes to make that basin. If I could find sandstones all the time, it would be easier. Yeah, here's a slightly different view of it, a little bit higher so you could see the basin. Yeah, I tried all different kinds of things. Well, remember the first year, in 8 months, I made 1,000. And you know this 1,000 that I talk about, it has to do with the Zen concept. It's one of the saying is, unless you make 1,000, you're not worthy of that art form. Well, unfortunately, the full version of it, you should make 1,000 and smash them because you were not worthy yet. And I'm not going to do that either. But definitely, I could see the progression. Well, a lot of this I understood from the beginning because I've been landscaping, but some of the technique I've had to relearn or modify because it was not up to par. This stone is, I think, Arizona sunrise or sunset, something like that. It's not natural. I broke it up, and then anyway, back to the stone. These come in big slabs, and it's artistically broken. And a lot of this up here, they were broken and tumbled. Luckily or unluckily, I bought one of those polishing kits for my grandkids and found out that it takes so long that they had no patience. So I sat for a couple of years, but then I realized that, hey, I could use these to make it more natural. Okay, on this one here, we might actually do like that, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't cement it in place. This one came out interesting. This is just a random pieces of slate that I cut. That's how it stays flat on the bottom like that, right? And then took the pieces and put it together. Not sure whether that message was the correct for this arrangement. It says Bonsai no kokoro, the heart and soul of bonsai, but not sure. And maybe I could erase that and make this into a lantern. But you can see what I've been up to, right? When you make 1,000, you try all different kinds of ways to do it. Well, I think this is the last of the review, but I had painted, well, I go through phases. 20 some odd years ago, I was painting all these things on slate or just about anything I could get my hands on, but I didn't know what to do with when I got done. Well, it seems like now I put it all together, right? See, it was kind of funny, so I put a big rock behind it, and it kind of completes it. So you can see that it kind of works together. So you're saying, Hiro, we're tired of seeing all this rehash, right? So let's get to something new. Online I noticed there's a whole big group of people that just paint rocks. Well, I'm not doing butterflies and flowers and things like that. It's just not me. But you could see that this has the landscape. I like waterfalls. So you could see that that's what I have doing here. And all it is just a rock that has some interesting features that some kind of suggested what it might be. Here's another interpretation, right? Yeah, I like waterfalls. You could see that there might be a stream and a pond or something like that. And then that's one thing I learned in Alaska, is that waterfalls don't come straight down. In the past, this is the way I always envisioned waterfalls, coming straight down. Well, that nice trip to Alaska sure taught me that there's all different ways that the waterfall comes down. So these, I pre-make these, or when I'm in the mood to paint, I find a bunch of rocks and paint it. And then what am I going to do? I don't know yet. Okay. Oh yeah, on this one here, the bottom part is unpainted. Well, because I figure it would be covered up with another rock to make it stable. So I didn't need to paint that. Okay, what the heck is this? This is a mosquito repellent incense. So I was thinking, there should be a nice way to present this, right? How about if we just drill a hole in there so it would stand up? That's practical, but not very artistic, is it? How about if we do something like this, and let's see if we go in the back and then kind of come together. See? Maybe one more rock. And then put all that together like that, right? So let's say you're on your back patio and you want to keep the mosquitoes away, but you don't want this little green stick just sticking out. How about if you do a presentation like that? So basically, technique-wise, this is the same as my tsukubai, right? Drill a hole, except it's smaller. I don't know, I'm just trying to come up with practical uses for Ishizukuri. I've always been like that. It's nice, art is nice, but practical art seems like it's much better. So anyway, that's what this is all about. Well, these are not really nice. What it actually says is "omae baka," or "you're an idiot." And my wife keeps saying, "You can't do that." Well, Americans tend to be, Americans do have great sense of humor, and they think this is funny as heck. So I do little things like this. I mean, this one here, you have to be a royal idiot. Versus this is a little bit subtle. And sometimes, in the past I did not paint these rocks, so it was more natural. And it almost looks like it's a legitimate presentation. But I don't know, I find humor in things like that. Okay, you saw me put this together, I think, episode or two ago, right? And what I want to do is to customize this for an event. I want to put this heart like that. Well, oops. This heart-shaped rock is natural. Found it looking like that, right? And so this to me is a nice presentation. Well, I was thinking of Mr. BMW, or Mr. Beamer, I call him. Well, I call him that because I can't remember his name, but I remember his car. And he was here last year, and he was a recipient of your Idiot Rock because he was telling me his very expensive, very powerful BMW, he was in the desert racing somebody else at 140 miles per hour. And I said, sir, I think you really earned this, your Idiot Rock. And he thought it was hilarious and he appreciated it. But he's having his 50th wedding anniversary this year. So I told him to come back. I'm not sure if he's going to come back or not, but if he does, I wanted to give him this rock. So him and his wife with the heart in between. You know, I have a bunch of these commercially produced hearts. On some presentation that looks good, but I'm not sure whether it would be fitting for him or not. A little more subtle, but I think that, a lot of it has to do with knowing the person that's going to get it. And yeah, I think for Mr. BMW, this is probably the best one. Well, you know what happened last year was he came in and bought a nice one for his sisters. And then 2 days later, he comes back. My wife said she wants one, and my son-in-law's want one. So buy 2 more nice ones. And well, all the time that I was getting ready, because you know a lot of my things needs a little cleaning up and trimming, so I had time to talk to him. That's when I found out that he was in the desert going 140 miles per hour racing some other guy that has a hot car. Anyway, so I got to know him fairly well, and I think based on what he told me about his wife, this probably will work much better than the commercially produced kind. Well, if Mr. Beamer comes by, I want to give him finish like this. Well, I usually put it in some sort of a plate so that it has a nice flat and smooth surface. I don't think this kind of stuff belongs outside. If it's going to be outside, it doesn't need to be in a plate. In fact, it would be detrimental because the water will collect. Now, one more thing that I'm debating on. Well, 50 year is a golden anniversary, I think. And so I could put that on there. There's a Japanese saying for 50th anniversary, or just put 50th anniversary in Japanese, of course. So that's still up in the air. That could be done when he gets here, if he gets here. So hopefully, Mr. Beamer, you're watching me on YouTube. You get yourself over here with your hot rod thing, and then this is yours. But I've been doing this for friends and things like that. And then other times, people request certain things for certain events. So I can make it for you. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I thought I'd give you some updates on the Ishizukuri, but I think we have enough for a while. So let's get back down to working with bonsai. But I think on this this month, I'm going to try to work everything that has to do with bonsai and some sort of rock or stone. Okay? So see you again real soon in another chapter.